What? No, put that down, put the gun down.
This is how I treat intruders.
You're insane.
Did I hit you?
Enough.
Do come in.
Explain yourself.
I like shooting into the clear blue sky.
With your permission, Mrs. Tessman. Your father's favorite.
There's nothing to do.
You want no visitors?
None.
Husband not home.
Straight off to lunch with the aunties.
Foolish of me.
Why?
I should have known you'd dash off. I would have come sooner.
There was no one here, so I took to my bed.
Well, we might have conversed through a crack in your door.
No, you forgot to arrange one.
My second foolishness.
We'll have to make two in here. It won't be long.
I'm never patient.
Well,
Well,
I was first.
what's on your mind?
It's been a long time since we talked,
Alone?
I suppose.
I was here every day, you know. Wishing you'd come back.
I felt the same.
I thought you were ecstatic with your new life.
Why?
Well, Tessman wrote with such tales of joy.
Well, he was ecstatic. Nothing excites him more than an old bookshop, the thrill of ancient scribble on a dusty parchment.
It's his calling.
In
part.
There was no one from our world, not a soul to talk to for 6 months.
I can imagine your frustration.
Well, what is unendurable is to be stuck with one person, always and eternally.
Day and night.
I meant always and eternally.
I see. He's a perfectly decent man. You'll find a way to live with him,
He's an academic.
as you knew.
Academics are no fun. Not to travel with, not for the journey.
But if you love him,
Don't be wet.
Hedda,
Try living with it. He lectures and bores on, historical this, anthropological that. I'm not interested in the drug makers of the Middle Ages. And I don't want to know anyone who is.
then,
Yes?
well, it's obvious. Why did you marry him?
It was time. I felt old, burnt out. I was tired of my chaotic life. I needed to settle. I settled for him. I'm terrible.
True. But you're not a lost cause. That's not what I see.
He's a fine man.
Consistent, reliable, honest, a rarity.
There's nothing wrong with him.
No.
And perhaps one day he'll be successful.
He has a great promise.
He's so movingly determined to provide and care for me, it's hard to resist.
There it is.
None of my other suitors cared a fig for me.
I did.
You weren't a suitor, you were a confirmed bachelor.
But one who regards the institution of marriage as sacred.
I'm sure.
I adore my circle of married friends to whom I can be of use in counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
I love to visit, to come and go as a trusted guest.
The man of the house.
Generally, I prefer the women, and then the husband, if need be. These triangular associations often reward handsomely. All parties can be nourished according to need.
I'd have been grateful for a third party on the honeymoon.
Yeah, well, it's over now.
But the journey ahead is long.
One could break a journey or end it. Simply get off the train.
I won't jump, I can't.
No?
I'd rather be safely seated in the carriage with my reliable companion.
But suppose another passenger came in.
Well, that would depend.
Say he's well trusted.
Lively and entertaining.
Knows nothing about drug makers.
Well, might be a relief. If I were on a train.
You're not happy.
Why should I be?
Well, you have the home you wanted, the one you told Tessman that you dreamed of.
Remember last summer, I let Tessman escort me home from all the parties?
Yes, I was sadly unavailable.
Oh, but you were most available to that least.
Shame on you. Continue.
One evening, Tessman and I stood outside, and he was in knots, agonized by his inability to make romantic small talk. So I took pity on the mortified creature.
You took pity on him.
Yes, I did, most certainly. I found myself telling him, frivolously, that I adored this building, and I'd always longed to live in it.
You didn't.
No.
Frivolity punished.
Our mutual passion for the property united us, became our secret meeting place, and then engagement, marriage, honeymoon, and whatever hell comes next, all my fault.
You didn't even like the place.
Not a bit. The outside is vulgar, and the inside stinks of lavender and rose petals. I'm sure Auntie J is behind that.
More likely the previous owner, the minister's widow.
Hence the sickly stench of death. God, I'm dreading the boredom of living here.
Well, there must be something you can do. Keep yourself occupied.
No. I have no talent for life. There's nothing. Well, it's only a whim.
Spit it out.
I wonder if I could persuade Tessman to go into politics.
He'd get eaten alive.
True, but is he persuadable?
Maybe. But since he's not up to it, what's the point?
Further relief from the boredom. Imagine the hilarity of watching him fail.
Don't be wicked. Actually do.
Think, seriously. Why couldn't he become a cabinet minister?
Lesser mammals have managed it. But
Oh.
you'd need limitless funds.
Always the money. That's the horror. Our wretched poverty, this humiliating scrimping and saving, it's so puny. That is what makes life so unbearable.
Or might it be a reason that lies elsewhere? You're privileged. You never had to struggle or fight for a cause.
I'm trivial.
One can make a case, but supposing life has plans for you, suppose it intends you to suffer and deepen accordingly.
How?
What would happen if life burdened you with a solemn responsibility? What then, dear Hedda?
Never. It won't happen.
I'll talk to you about it later in a year.
I won't make something that makes demands, nor will I be depended on.
Women often discover their true calling.
If you knew me at all, you'd know my calling.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
To bore myself to death.